Hello, myself Professor CHANCHAL MUKHERJEE, designated as Associate Professor and Head Department of Management Studies, and also looking after the Department of Training and Placement at Radhakrishna Institute of Technology and Engineering, RITE, Khurda, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Firstly, I take this opportunity to thank the team of I2OR for selecting me as one of the best educators of 2025. It's really a pleasure and I am humble for this award being designated upon me. I am here today to give a brief insight on the topic assigned to me, that is interdisciplinary research for a sustainable future. And this is something very important and relevant today with NEP 2020 around. Interdisciplinary research for a sustainable future is about bringing together knowledge, methods and perspective from multiple academic disciplines, and that is expected for today. And often non-academic stakeholders also, we cannot eliminate them, to solve certain complex, sustainably challenging that no single field can address alone. They require the collaborative approach and equally contribution from all the departments. So the core feature of interdisciplinary sustainable research will be understanding the whole system but not just the parts, working with policymakers, businesses and communities, co-creating solutions with stakeholders, and of course combining data, models and live experiences. And we need to consider the future generations, and they are really fast, the Gen Z, and we need to cope up with their expectations and requirements. So the benefit of this sort of an interdisciplinary research is they make it more holistic solutions to tackle the root causes. There is greater innovation by blending diverse perspectives, stronger policy impact through evidence that reflects real world complexity. It enhances public engagement by connecting science to daily life. However, there are challenges for this to happen because communication barriers within disciplines happen. There are differences in methods, language and priorities, institutional structures that favor specialized research, and of course funding models not always designed for cross-disciplinary work. Similarly, we have to move forward with this concept of modern day, where to advance interdisciplinary sustainable research, we need to foster interdisciplinary education and training, which is one of the core things of NEP 2020. And we are already 5 years into that, and we are able to see that it is really happening, where you have interdisciplinary education and training happening in the university curriculums. Create collaborative research centers, reform academic incentives to value cross-field work. Use open science and data sharing to bridge knowledge gaps. However, in this regard, I thought of putting more emphasis on the research in education, that is interdisciplinary research in education, and regarding mental health. Myself, I am a psychotherapist and I am certified in student counseling, and where I always, in my process of training and placements, I interact with the modern gen students, and where I need to look into the matter of which is focused is the mental health. So thereby, it's always required that we need to get interdisciplinary into this matter to resolve this issue, which is very challenging today among the youth. So it brings together expertise from education, psychology, neuroscience, sociology, public health and policy studies to address the complex relationship between learning environment and mental well-being. Why this matters? Mental health affects learning. Anxiety, depression, trauma can significantly impact cognitive performance, attendance and motivation. Similarly, education affects mental health. The school's climate, teaching approaches, peer relationships in the school, and academic stress influence students' emotional resilience and social skills. These are the two ways systems issues, no single discipline can solve them. So we really require interdisciplinary approach regarding this. So the disciplines we need to involve in this regard to mental health of the modern day generation of students going to schools of their study of. In this we need educational psychology who will contribute like understanding, learning and emotional regulation. We need neuroscience to be a participant where they will look into the insight on brain development and stress response in children and adolescents. We require the discipline of public health which will look into epidemiology of mental disorder, community interventions. Sociology who will look into social determinants of education and well-being. Counseling and clinical psychology who will take care of intervention design and therapy model for school settings. Policy studies which consist of laws and framework for inclusive supportive education. And not last, technology and data science, of course. We cannot leave it alone with AI around. AI tools for early detection, personalized learning supports. Key research areas which we can look into this parameter is early identification using behavioral assessment, AI-based learning analytics, and teacher reports to detect risk factors for mental distress. Intervention design, cross-disciplinary program combining cognitive behavioral therapy with academic skill training. Inclusive education is of course very much required, which consists of policies and classroom strategies for neurodiverse learners. We have to focus on each one of them individually if it is required. Teacher mental health is also a concern. We need to take care of that. Whereas studying burnout prevention, workload management and training in emotional literacy for the teachers. Community and family engagement, where we are seeing in the modern gen, we are going out from that family bonding which India is famous of, but we really need to look into that very seriously, integrating home, school and community resources. Of course, digital well-being, which is really concern for most of the parents today, for children and adolescents. Investigating effect of screen time, how much time are they spending on the screen, cyberbullying, which is very serious, and online learning on mental health. However, there are definitely benefits of this approach. Holistic understanding considers biological, psychological, social and educational factor together. It combines teaching innovation with mental health support. Data can inform national education and health strategies. And similarly, school-based intervention can be adapted across region and cultures. Of course, there are challenges which has to be looked into to make this a grand success. Differing terminology and methods between fields, data privacy issues when integrating education and health records, we need to be very careful with the data. Privacy is to be given top priority. If not, we cannot resolve the mental health issues. Funding system often silo education and health research separately. Need for training educators in basic mental health literacy without overburdening them. So this is my area of study which I thought to deliberate today. Thank you once again I2OR for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.